Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your brother, Quadar of GMS Gulf Coast. And I'd like to start by giving infinite honor and praise to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors are given up to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, men who have labored and suffered in this truth for over 30 years, making their lives and their bodies a living sacrifice. Also, a shalom goes out to the bishops, the elders, the heads of camps of Great Millstone by and large, as well as Akim, not named GMS, but walking one body, one spirit, and Yahweh Shai, preaching and teaching the 100% truth as it is taught to us all by the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, as well as calling on the names Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. And last but not least, a shalom goes out to the hopeful elect, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel scattered throughout the four winds of planet Earth, north, south, east, and west, which consist of men, women, and children in that order. To you all, shalom. Hey, Lord willing, let's be edified. I want to touch on a little deceit. Deceit. That's what we want to touch on tonight. That's going to be the subject matter. Deceit. He was given the power to go out and deceive the nations. And so we're going to Google the definition of the word deceit. Again, he was given power to go out and deceive the nations. This is what these pale knuckle-dragging cave maggots were given. One was the power of the sword, and that's his main blessing, the power of the sword that he would have to do with the earth. And it was also a scripture in Revelation where it said that he was let loose to go out and to deceive the nations. So we're going to get that word deceived. Okay, let's see. And it reads, it says, the action or practice of deceiving somebody by concealing or misrepresenting the truth. Again, now, the action or practice of deceiving someone by concealing or misrepresenting the truth. And he has done a whole lot of that. Here it is right here. It says, what is the true meaning of deceit? It says the act or practice of deceiving, concealment, or distortion of the truth for the purpose of misleading, duplicacy, fraud, cheating. Now, that right there should set the subject matter for the video I'm about to show. Mind you, this is for educational purposes only. I do not own the rights to this, so I'm just going to play it. And Lord willing, you be edified. We'll grab a few scriptures to further filter what's being said. But having said that, let's play this video.
By the publishing houses, 21. Meeting with Woodrow Wilson, president between 1913 and 1921. From the private papers of Woodrow Wilson, quote, very soon, every American will be required to register their biological property in...
Now, let's Google the definition of register. Salakia, that's going to be me intervening here and there so that we can get some insight on what's being said. Then after we, bring out everything, we will let the video play all the way through from the beginning to the end, then close out. But for this first round, we're going to be jumping in and, interjecting in here and there. So now let's get the definition of register. Okay. Google.
Here's the definition of register: an official list or record, for example of births, marriages, and deaths, of shipping, or of historic places.
Now, that's very important. Remember this. Remember this definition. Register.
Register.
An official list or record. Now, that's one thing that this devil operates on is what? Checking your records. Pull you over. Let's see your ID. Let's see your driver's license. You know, Jake get gunned down out here unintentionally, quote unquote, but it'd be intentional. Unarmed, you know what I'm talking about? And the first thing they do, they go to his record to validate what they did to him. He was a good for nothing dope head or whatever the case may be. But the key is that what they do, they check your records. Register an official list or record. For example, check this out. Now, this is very important. For example, of births, marriages, and deaths. Check it out again. Of shipping, key shipping, or of historical places. Now, everything from example of birth, marriages, death, and shipping is how you are viewed as a people. Especially used to call blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. But the elite, the people who actually run the world, this is how they view everyone else. As an example of births, marriages, deaths, and shipping. It's a set of laws and statutes called the UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. And that's actually what you're operating under. You know, a lot of people think that they're under the guise or under the jurisdiction of what they call a constitution. That is not the case. You're under what you call UCC laws. And those laws deal with admiralty law or the law of the water. That's why it's important to remember about the births, marriages, deaths, shipping. Because you're a commodity. That's all you are. So you don't operate under what they call a constitution. That was done away with in 1871. Do your history. Go back and look it up for yourself. They done away with the Constitution in 1871. I'm not going to go into all of that. I may do it again on a future lesson, Lord willing. I'll go into that. I will go in on that because I have mentioned that I know a handful of times. So I am obligated to show that proof. And Lord willing, I will. But if you want to do some digging for yourself, research for yourself, research 1871 and the Constitution abolishing where they abolished the Constitution and therefore set everything under what they call admiralty laws or the UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. Now, again, births, marriages, deaths, and shipping. Very important. Register. Now let's go back.
Federal Reserve would assure with Woodrow Wilson, president between 1913 and 1921, from the private papers of Woodrow Wilson, quote, "Very soon, every American will be required to register their biological property in a..."
Remember, registering. You're registering. As a matter of fact, I'm going to grab it on my other phone. It's like Google the definition of register.
Here's the definition of register: an official list or record, for example of births, marriages, and deaths, of shipping, or of historic places.
Okay.
National system designed to keep track of the people, and that will operate under the ancient system of pledging. By such methodology, we can compel people to submit to our agenda, which will affect our security as chargeback for our fiat paper currency.
Charge back for our fiat paper currency. You notice whenever you go and spend money via your debit credit card, they charge you for using it. They charge you for using it. In America, I don't know how they operate in Dubai, or I've never been to Dubai. I've never spent money in other countries via the U.S., you know what I'm saying? Because I don't go through that custom deal where you change money over. But when you use your debit card, that comes with a fee. Am I right or wrong? Am I making this up, or call me out on it now if I'm speaking untruths? Because if I am, I'm doing it unwillingly. I'm not doing it intentionally. I mean, I'm doing it unintentionally if I'm speaking a lie. But I do not believe I'm speaking a lie. All of us use what we call debit cards or our credit cards, and that comes a fee with using specifically your debit card. And it reads as chargeback for our fiat currency. Chargeback. You're paying to spend your money or to spend their money. It just said our fiat currency. So they're taking ownership of the currency. Hell, I mean, it's right there in your face. Look who's face on it. When you think it's your money, you're being paid with debt. You bought a home, you bought a vehicle. It was all paid with debt currency. You are going to forever owe these people. That's basically what they're saying. So when they make a move and send those military vehicles around and round folks up and take them to re-education camps, and you might say, well, I have never committed a crime, but if you've been spending what they call fiat currency, you owe them. Your home is not your home. When you look up the laws of home ownership, you're considered what they call a tenant. You don't own nothing here because you're using what? Debt pledges to pay everything. So you owe. And they laying it all out. They have to tell you. But if you're so asleep by the system, the educational system, and the law is not dealing with you, you're not able to see these things.
Can compel people to submit to our agenda, which will affect our security as chargeback for our fiat paper currency. Every American will be forced to register or
forced to register. Every American will be forced to register. Don't you register your car? You go buy a weapon, they make you register. Well, they done away with that now because they're trying to invoke chaos now, you know. But you have to register your car. You have to register your children in school. And what's the meaning of register? An official list or record, for example, of birth, marriages, and deaths, of shipping or of historical places. Let's see. We're going to get some more. It says enter or record on the official list of directory. Let's see. The text show reading automatically. Let's see. Let's get some more on let's see. What is the simple definition of register? To make or secure official entry of in a registry. To enroll formally, especially as a voter or a student. Don't you have to register your children? Huh? To enroll formally, especially as a voter or student. Huh? To record automatically, indicate, so that they can just roll whenever they want to. They can just roll. You've already entered their registry, and these things were thought out 100 years ago, 150 years ago. You understand? This is nothing new. They didn't just all of a sudden wake up and say, "Oh, let's make everyone register." They've been thought these things out. The people who actually are pulling the strings, they've been thought these things out. They have been thought these things out. Okay, let's play it. Let's play it again. Again, we're gonna let this play all the way through. I'm just gonna jump in here and there.
Fiat paper currency. Every American will be forced to register or
notice forced. I don't know anyone that's living here in these United States of America that's not registered in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Unless you've totally gone off the grid and you're a so-called homeless person, which they're rounding them up now. You know what I'm talking about? Because there's going to be no loopholes left for the agenda that they're pushing. Everybody's going to be accounted for. You understand? That's why we need the Lord.
Suffer not being able to work and earn a living.
Not being able to work or earn a living. Let's go real quick, Bubba. Let's go to, because that sounds familiar, don't it? Sounds damn familiar. Let's go get it in the book of Revelation, Bubba. So let's go get it real quick and get back to the video. This is Revelation, the 13th chapter. This is Revelation, the 13th chapter. And we're going to get straight on into it. And it reads, it says, Verse 16, and it reads, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Check it out. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And read again, verse 17, and that no man, man or woman, child, it doesn't matter, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark.
Quote from Edward Mendel House, and what he had to say in a private meeting with Woodrow Wilson, president between 1913 and 1921, from the private papers of Woodrow Wilson. Quote, very soon, every American will be required to register their biological property in a national system designed to keep track of the people, and that will operate under the ancient system of pledging. By such methodology, we can compel people to submit to our agenda, which will affect our security as chargeback for our fiat paper currency. Every American will be forced to register or suffer not being able to work and earn a living.
Every American will be forced. He didn't say some. He didn't say 3/4. He didn't say 99.9. He said every American will be forced, or they won't be able to work or earn a living. We just read that in Revelations, the 13th chapter, verse 16 and 17. 17 to be exact.
They will be our chattel, and we will hold the security interest over them forever by operation of law merchant.
Operation of law merchant. Now, let's go back to, we're going to watch what we read here. Let's grab it real quick. Google the definition of law merchant.
According to Merriam-Webster, law merchant, noun, the commercial rules developed under English common law that influenced modern commercial law and that are referred to as supplementing rules set down in the Uniform Commercial Code and in state codes.
What did I mention earlier? The UCC. It says law merchant now, the commercial rules developed under English common law. See, you're not under common law. You're not under the Constitution. It reads again, the commercial rules developed under English common law that influenced modern commercial law. So you're no longer under English law, common law. You're not under that anymore. And we're going to get the definition of the English common law. Because this new law, the Uniform Commercial Code, or the UCC, is influenced by the common law. You know what I'm talking about? The common law basically deals with, well, we'll get it. Okay, the commercial rules developed, and this is the definition of law merchant. The commercial rules developed under English common law that influence modern commercial law and that are referred to as supplementing rules set down in the Uniform Commercial Code and in state codes. State codes. Now, let's see real quick. I don't want to lose my place. Let's see what it says. What is law merchant? What does law merchant mean? Let's go real quick. Adopted by traders themselves, regulating. Okay, I want to see. What does it mean? A person who buys and sells commodities for profit. Okay, let's see what it says. What makes someone a merchant under UCC? Listen to this here. What makes someone a merchant under UCC? Let's see. Skills attributed by the employer, agent, broker. Okay. Let's see the definition. looking up a few definitions. It says merchant means person who can. Merchant means a person who deals in goods of the kind or otherwise by his occupation holds himself out as having knowledge or skill peculiar to the practice or goods involved in the transaction, or to whom such knowledge or skills may be attributed by his employment of an agent or broker or other intermediary who by this occupation holds himself out as having such knowledge or skill. Okay, let's see. It says means financing agency means a bank. Okay, it's going to be a lot of this going into the actual law, so I'm not going to go off into that. It's going to take me too far off the beaten path. So I'm not going to. But now it deals with the Uniform Commercial Codes, law merchants. It just means a body or customary rules and principles relating to merchants and transactions adopted by traders themselves for the purpose of regulating their dealings. And now, who are the merchants? The elite people. They are the merchants. A body of customary rules and principles relating to merchants and merchants transactions and adopted by traders. Don't you used to be on the stock market. Your birth certificate and all that stuff get traded right now to the day. Traders themselves for the purpose of regulating their dealings. Now let's keep rolling.
Under the scheme of secured transactions, Americans, by unknowingly or unwittingly delivered the bills of lading to us, will be rendered bankrupt and insolvent, forever to remain economic slaves through taxation, secured by their pledges.
Secured by their pledges. Now, slaves forever paying taxes. Get me Baruch chapter 3. We're going to go real quick. This is Baruch chapter 3, and we're going to get straight to the point. It says, Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all iniquities of our forefathers, which depart from the Lord Yahweh our power. We are this day in our captivity. Check it out. For a reproach and a curse, to be subject to payments. Let's let them say this again.
To us will be rendered bankrupt and insolvent, forever to remain economic slaves through taxation.
Economic slaves through taxation. When you came out of that real hardcore bondage slave, they had a plan to make you a slave forever through taxation. And a lot of these jakes say, I ain't no slave, I ain't no. See, that's just an ignorant, shallow-minded thinking, so-called black, Latino, or Native American. They're shallow-minded. And their hope is in this system. You understand what I'm saying? Their hope is not in the Lord. They don't believe in the Lord. They don't believe that the Lord can remedy them, save them from this system. So they truly don't believe. But like you said, you're going to be forever a slave here. And that's why the Lord has to save us, because the plans forwarded by this knuckle dragon cave maggot is to keep you under his boot and heel forever. All this voting and picking sides, Democrat and Republican, all that is play and delusional foreplay for Jake, just to keep him playing their Ponzi scheme, playing their game. You know, just insane. You know, most of our people are insane. You know, going out here voting and hoping for a change, and actually your conditions get worse and worse each administration because you become more stupider and stupider. And I know that's not a word, but you know what I'm saying. But let's listen to it again.
unwittingly delivered the bills of lading to us will be rendered bankrupt and insolvent, forever to remain economic slaves through taxation secured by their pledges.
Baruch 3:8, and it reads, Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord Yahweh our power.
They will be stripped of their rights and given commercial value, designated to keep us a profit.
Commercial value. Now, what did we just read? Let's go there real quick. What did we just read? Let's go.
According to Merriam-Webster,
Let's see. Okay. Law merchant, a body, let's see. Uniform commercial code. Commercial contracts, trade practices, commercial customary laws. Okay, let's see. What is the relationship between... Matter of fact, let me grab something real quick. Google the definition of common law.
Here's the definition of common law. The part of English law that is derived from custom and judicial precedent rather than statutes, often contrasted with statutory law.
Listen, it says the part of English law that is derived from custom. 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 Google the definition of the word custom.
Here's the definition of custom. A traditional and widely accepted way of behaving or doing something that is specific to a particular society, place, or time.
See that? It's the custom. Common law used to be the custom. You understand what I'm saying? Traditionally and widely accepted way of behaving or doing something that is specific to a particular society. We have laws, statutes, and commandments. By layman terms, we have a common law. But they derive what they call the Uniform Commercial Code off the common law to bring you into a state of eternal servitude. Eternal servitude. Now, let's keep going. Okay, I wanted to make that distinction.
That will be none the wiser, for not one man in a million could ever figure out our plans. And if by accident one or two would figure it out, we have in our arsenal plausible deniability.
All right, let's get that. Google the definition of plausible deniability.
According to Wikipedia, plausible deniability is the ability of people, typically senior officials in a formal or informal chain of command, to deny knowledge of or responsibility for actions committed by or on behalf of members of their organizational hierarchy.
In other words, they play dumb. Oh, we don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. The whole organization, from top to bottom, pretend like they don't know what's going on. Let's see if it holds up in court. It says, does plausible deniability hold up in court? It says in court, plausible deniability for the use of covert parliamentary works is protected. It protects individuals from conviction. God, to be more careful. By extension, it also protects the state. You see that? It protects the individual from conviction. By extension, it also protects the state. They got it all figured out. So if you were to catch up and find out what's going on, they'll just pretend like they don't know what's happening. Because guess what? The state and the individual are one. The mailman, the UPS man, the sheriff department, the FBI, the local police, what you call them, the game warden, all of them, they all tied in. They all state employees. You follow what I'm saying? They're all a part of the same monster. But you the everyday citizen, you, Jake, they got you so tricked up in a trick bag, you picking sides. You know how these folk laughing at us, but I'm laughing shit because it's funny. Anyway, let's keep rolling. Plausible deniability. Let's read it again real quick. I'm gonna pull it up. It says plausible deniability is the ability of people, typically senior officials in a formal or informal chain of command, to deny knowledge of or responsibility for actions committed by or on behalf of members of their organizational hierarchy. Boy, they got it all figured out. And Jake out here trying to buy Donald Trump shoes.
Million could ever figure out our plans. And if by accident one or two would figure it out, we have in our arsenal plausible deniability. After all, this is the only logical way to fund government, by floating liens and debt to the registrants in the form of benefits and pledges.
Floating liens in the form of debt. Huh? Would you go and borrow money to buy the car, to buy the land, to buy the house? When you get into the word mortgage, that's a debt pledge. It says it. She just said pledges. That's a death pledge. That's a death pledge. A death pledge. Matter of fact, let's go to let's grab something real quick. Google the definition of certificate.
Here's the definition of certificate: an official document attesting a certain fact.
Okay, now let's get it. What is the definition of a certificate? Let's grab it real quick. It says okay, English meaning. I'm gonna show you what the certificate actually means. Because you have what you call a birth certificate. Okay, dang, what's wrong with that? Move that out the way. Okay. Let's move that out the way. Let's see. Example of a certificate. Let's see. What's the example of a certificate? The public account can practice as a CPA. No. Main purpose of a certificate of certification. Shows that you have necessary knowledge, skills. Nope, that ain't what I'm looking for. Okay. Let's go back forward. Okay, hold up just a second. Let's get this origin. Let's see. Check this out. A document recording a person's birth. See, that came right back to it. Registration, right? You have to register your birth certificate, right? Look at that. A document recording a person's birth, marriage, or death. A document attesting a level of achievement, course of study. No, that ain't what I'm looking for. Okay, we got the first one. Okay. A document attesting ownership. That is a document attesting ownership of a certain item. When your mama signs that birth certificate, your mother and father, you have registered them over to the lien holders. Huh? This you have to unravel what Esau doing, man. You know what I'm talking about? A birth certificate goes into a certificate. Let's see again. Let's see.
Certificate.
Okay, certificate. So you don't think I'm making this up because I didn't pull it up on this phone. I got it on another phone. It says a document recording a person's birth. See that? Marriage or death. We read that in what? Registry, right? Register. It goes down and it says a document attesting ownership of a certain item. Man, I ain't got to make this up. They own you. They own you, you know? And guess what? They're going to further put their stamp on you by what we read in Revelations, the 13th chapter, to make you pledge. That's going to be a real pledge, a real put you over the edge, hoorah for the system of things. You understand what I'm saying? And that's going to be a deadly mistake. That's going to cost you your life. You understand? That particular pledge is going to cost you. It's going to cost you everything. Revelations, the 13th chapter, 16th verse, 17th verse. Yeah. Okay, now let's let this play on. And I got a little read.
Will inevitably reap us huge profits beyond our wildest of expectations and leave every American a contributor to this fraud, which we will call social insurance. Without realizing it, every American will insure us for any loss we may incur, and in this
man, that's a hell of a system. They can't even lose. You heard what she said? For every American would assure them of any loss. Now you gotta, they putting it out there. They putting it out there. It's a win-win situation for them. Just like when you was in chattel slavery and they had you on the auction block, one-time payment, you had free labor, free material, everything. They have found a system to do that same thing over again via paperwork, via technology. This devil going on super overtime. But guess what? You've been educated in this food system to not think, not to ponder. You understand what I'm saying? And this system he would hope, will perpetuate itself on into the future. But the Lord gonna step in and throw a monkey wrench in this. But that's deep. Check this. Listen to that again.
Every American a contributor to this fraud, which we will call social insurance. Without realizing it, every American will insure us for any loss we may incur, and in this manner, every American will unknowingly be our servant.
There it is. So you are a slave.
However, begrudgingly, the people will become helpless without any hope for their redemption, and we will employ the high office of the president as our dummy corporation to foment this plot against America. Having established plausible deniability, even if people become enlightened that they had a remedy and pursued it, the attorneys, judges, and legislators could claim that...
Then I say that everybody, because it says the person, including the state, the whole instrument, the whole, from the top to the bottom, they're in on it. That's why you have to go through these colleges. Even when Jake is in on it, he has to be what they call a lesser luminary and be pledged, in Freemasonry or what they call it, them frat groups in college and all that. You have to pledge allegiance. That's why they do that in school. They have them children to stand up and I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. All this right here is enchantment, spell casting on our people, man. It is what it is. You call it what it is. And the Lord has opened the eyes of his prophets, of his servants. The 1/3 of the nation of Israel called them to do it, to shout and scream. Better wake up. The Lord is coming. You didn't want to get caught up in the ass whooping he's going to put on this place.
They did not understand the people's claims, especially if the technical requirements for achieving it were not followed pursuant to statutory requirements, requiring the public schools to teach civics, government, and history classes out of federally approved, politically correct
the food system
textbooks written by the publishing houses owned by the owners of the Federal Reserve would assure that the people would not discover the remedy for a long time, if ever. I would recommend that everyone read Fruit from a Poisonous Tree by Melvin Stamper, Melvin Stamper, Stamper. That is Fruit from a Poisonous Tree.
Fruit from a poisonous tree. Yeah, it gets deep, man. It really does. It gets deep. I'm going to read a few precepts. I'm going to close this out. Baba Sean. This is, let me see. This is Isaiah 29:15, and it reads, "Woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh, and their works are in the dark. And they say, Who seeth us, and who knoweth us?" The Most High do. See, these clowns so deceived by their own buffoonery and trickery and deceit that they think they are above the Most High. Again, Isaiah 29:15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh, and their works are in the dark. And they say, Who seeth us? And who knoweth us? The Most High do. Clowns. Knuckle dragging clowns. And they going back to knuckle dragging before it's all said and done. Before it's all said and done, they going back to knuckle dragging, where they belong. This has got to end. This is Psalms 94:20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? They gather themselves together against the souls of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord Yahweh is my defense and my power, and my power is the rock of my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord Yahweh power shall cut them off. Yeah, trying to hide and all that old slick stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Man, hey, that's something serious when you can lie to yourself. You know what I'm talking about? You can convince yourself of your own lies. Man, that's serious. That is serious. This is Isaiah 10:1, and it reads, Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Yeah. This is these people. It says to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. Now that's part of the curses. That's talking about us, because 2/3 of our people, in the spiritual sense, are without a father. Now, carnally, talking about on the carnal sense, a whole lot of us without fathers. But on the spiritual tip, 2/3 of our people have not turned back to the law, statute, commandments, and therefore have not claimed Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua as their father. Because the Lord don't want nothing to do with their ass. It's ultimately the Lord. Now, I'm just saying it in that sense, but it's ultimately the Lord. Spiritually, 2/3 of our people don't have a father. They believe in Jesus Christ and Buddha and Allah and Jehovah and what else kind of foolery that these heathens around us prescribe for us to worship. You know what I'm talking about? They're fatherless. Just call it what it is. They're fatherless. Now I want to close out with this right here. This is Isaiah 43. This is Isaiah 43, and it reads, Israel redeemed. I'm going to read a few scriptures. I'm going to close this out. It reads, But now thus saith the Lord Yahweh, that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not. For I have redeemed thee. How he did that? Through our Lord and Savior, Yahushua. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. For I am the Lord Yahweh thy power, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for a ransom, Ethiopia and Sheba for thee. See, and he delivered us out of all that madness over there, you know what I'm saying, in Egypt and whatnot, It says, verse 4, Since thou was precious in my sight, thou hast been honorable, and I have loved thee. Therefore will I give men for thee and people for thy life. Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east. See, the Lord gonna gather up that remnant, man. That remnant. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth, everyone that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him. Yea, I have made him. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to close out by giving infinite honor and praise to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors goes out to the elder apostle, Great Millstone. And with that, shalom.